Hey everybody, Invisiblekatana here, doing this video as a replacement review for Samurai Jack this week because of course there was no Samurai Jack. Cartoon Network as well as Adult Swim / Toonami, they did the April Fool's Day thing. They always got something weird going on. This year, I think it was definitely a half and half sort of deal where some people enjoyed it. Most people started to hate it once it kind of went into, oh, there's no Samurai Jack, and also, oh, there's no anime Toonami block at all this year. Or at least this week. So that really bugged people. You know, it started off simple with Cartoon Network for April Fool's. They did it where all the characters had googly eyes. The funny thing about that, I didn't know that was April Fool's. The only time I saw that was Teen Titans Go. I was like, oh, this is a silly episode. Because that's Teen Titans Go. I thought the whole episode, they just did googly eyes because it was really silly and it's Teen Titans Go. So I had no idea that was the prank. And I didn't happen to watch any commercials. So I just assumed that was just that specific episode of Teen Titans Go when that happened. I was like, oh, they're doing some silly googly eye thing for Teen Titans Go this episode. So it was really funny that I saw that. Had no idea that was the April Fool's Day thing. Then it goes into, you know, Saturday. And it's like, all right, well, things are starting to happen. And I wasn't up, or I wasn't actually at the house, so I wasn't, you know, watching anything live. So I just have everything naturally set to record like most people. And I get back. And that's when things start to go crazy because I had some stuff set to record. This wasn't just on April Fool's because if I remember right, April Fool's was officially Saturday. They started some stuff on Friday, I'm pretty sure, because I've been having Rick and Morty episodes recording for like this whole week because I guess they finally decided now that they did the surprise season 3 thing. They finally decided to effing do some reruns because there are never reruns on a Rick and Morty, I feel like. So I was like, finally, I can find season 2 because I've only seen the first season because season 2 never got put up on Hulu. So I was like, all right, I'm recording a bunch of episodes, trying to watch stuff on demand. The on demand is just dumb because they kept canceling. So I was like, I'm going to just record some episodes. So I have episodes recorded from, I think, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it's all over the freaking place because of how they did their April Fool's Day thing. So not only were certain episodes of Rick and Morty not Rick and Morty. Like I have an episode of Rick and Morty that was actually American Dad. I have an episode of Rick and Morty that's a different episode of Rick and Morty, but it's still Rick and Morty. So I was like, this doesn't make any sense why this happened because it was before April Fool's Day. I'm pretty sure it was on Friday. And then of course Samurai Jack didn't come on, so that was Rick and Morty again. And then after a certain amount of time, it did stop because there was anime that recorded because I watched Tokyo Ghoul, which maybe they didn't want to skip that one because it's only like the second episode. But for whatever reason, when they did the whole April Fool's Day thing, it threw off like the entire block for anime because when I recorded the episode, it was like 6 minutes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure before Tokyo Ghoul started. So I missed like the last 3 or 4 minutes of the episode because of how they did the April Fool's Day thing because the Rick and Morty episodes, well actually, no, they're all 30 minutes, so I guess that doesn't really make any sense anymore. For whatever reason, something they did ended up throwing off the timeline, so when they finally got to the actual anime, whenever they started to do that, and maybe it was all the anime, but I heard that Dragon Ball Super didn't come on, and that's, I guess it's Samurai Jack and then Dragon Ball Super is right after, so both of those were out, and then I guess the rest of the anime were still in for whatever reason. But it was really weird. I was like, okay, so eventually they stopped it, but somehow in the whole April Fool's Day thing, they still managed to throw off like the timing block. So there's like an extra 5 minutes. Everything was thrown off for people who did actually record stuff. If you happen to watch the anime, you still ended up missing a big chunk of what you were watching. Because I swear I seriously got like 5 minutes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Or like the last, maybe it was only like the last 2 minutes, count commercials and everything. But I was just fast forwarding like, okay, when am I going to get to my show? And it was at like the 5 minute mark, Tokyo Ghoul started. I was like, great, I'm not going to see the end of this episode. And of course I didn't. So it was really weird how everything played out this week where, on one side it was really cool because it was like, hey, Rick and Morty season 3, that's a big deal. Great show, really do love it. But of course I would like to see the shows that I wanted to see. Looking forward to Samurai Jack. It's the final season, 10 episodes, really pumped. And I was going to watch that today, and then as soon as I got up and I was thinking, I was like, yeah, I'm not about to watch Samurai Jack because it was April Fool's. Everything was off, so it's going to be just like with Dragon Ball Super. And so I was like, I just went to Twitter just to see, and I was like, yep, Samurai Jack wasn't on. So I was like, well, that sucks. And of course, it was the Rick and Morty season 3 premiere episode. And then, like I said, eventually it changed. I guess once it was officially midnight, that's when all the anime actually came back on. But it was like, just 5 minutes late. So really weird thing. For me personally, the only reason I don't like it is because even though there was no Samurai Jack, which I really would have preferred, I'm glad I don't watch Dragon Ball Super because I would have been super pissed if two of my shows didn't come on. But even with everything they did, it still managed to throw it off when they finally stopped, and it threw everything off for all the anime after midnight. So it's still weird that it ended up affecting me, even outside of the actual April Fool's Day thing, because something happened with the extra 5-minute stuff throwing everything off for recording. So that was really weird. But I know a lot of people were pissed off. Some people were kind of happy because it's like, sweet, Rick and Morty season 3, that's good. I officially have that episode recorded for sure, because it played for I don't know how many hours that ended up playing. I think it was from, I don't remember, I don't know what time Adult Swim officially starts, because it's still, even on Saturdays, I think it is officially Adult Swim at like 10, and then it becomes Toonami around like 11:30. So it's still it's still officially Cartoon Network, then Adult Swim, and then it's still Toonami even after that. So even a little bit into Toonami, because Samurai Jack and Dragon Ball Super, it just hit that mark, because I think Samurai Jack is 11 and then Dragon Ball is 11:30. So once it hit that midnight mark, it's like, all right, April Fool's is done. Here are the actual rest of the shows for the week. And, like I said, that threw some people off. Like I said, definitely have recordings of the season 3 episode. Somehow an episode of American Dad, which I guess I'll have to check, because that was the thing with Adult Swim, is that they put laugh tracks on all the shows, and they changed the voices, but the recording I have of American Dad doesn't have that. I don't believe the voices sounded the same. I kind of fast forwarded through it just to see what was happening, and I was like, all right, well, I just thought, I legitimately forgot it was April Fool's, so I was just like, what the F is going on where everything's off? And I'm like, okay, this is this episode, and then I noticed I had recordings of the Rick and Morty thing, and I forgot about the April Fool's thing, so I was like, are they seriously just showing this over and over again because it's their premiere? Because, like, I know it's a popular show, but, like 2 times in a row, and that was another thing. It was Rick and Morty, and I got the premiere twice, when it was actually supposed to be 2 other Rick and Morty episodes, which for me personally bothered me more, because, like I said, I'm trying to actually watch season 2 so I can watch season 3, and I was like, this isn't the episode I had recorded. Like I mentioned, I was trying to watch stuff on demand. I was like, this isn't the episode that's supposed to be here. It was the total assimilation episode, that show, and Get Shrifty and all that. And I was like, all right, I'm like halfway through this episode. On Demand is being dumb. I finally got the whole episode recorded. Let me watch it. And then it was the premiere, and I was like, crap. And oddly enough, I actually do have the assimilation episode and the Get Shrifty episode. They just have different titles on them because of whatever they were doing. They didn't bother just being silly and changing the whole block to be like, it's all Rick and Morty. They had all the guide details exactly the same, so everybody still got all their recordings, and all the recordings are just Rick and Morty now. So it was just really crazy. Like, it half played out, and then the other half is like, a lot of people were mad that things just randomly changed like that. But it's April Fool's. Cartoon Network, especially Adult Swim and Toonami, they always do some really weird stuff. People mentioned before, they did like, kind of how Cartoon Network did Googly Eyes this year. Adult Swim before did like mustaches and cat heads. Sometimes they would play Tommy Wiseau's The Room just the whole night on repeat. So I'm glad they didn't do that. At least I didn't just have like a bunch of chunks of The Room. I don't need that movie recorded. So I'm fine with that at least. But it was just weird. Like, it went off. It was just weird. I think this is the one year where it really pissed people off. I mean, you got Samurai Jack in here. It also affected the anime block because we actually have anime now. So I think it was just a big deal that it actually affected people so much this time around compared to normally, where it's like, oh, it's a silly thing. They change up the shows that are always reruns, but typically the new stuff isn't really touched, and this time it was just like all thrown off. And some, when it's April Fool's, they typically do that all the time, but I think it's the fact that a lot of people just didn't see it coming, where it was just like, not only is it something that's actually real, with it being the epic surprise premiere of Rick and Morty, but then that's also a part of the April Fool's thing, where it's like, this is great, but now it's the same episode, and it's a weird love-hate sort of thing, because you get new Rick and Morty, and also just pure hatred for the April Fool's Day thing, because it's like, you love this show. Well, I don't know, I'm sure there's some people that don't even watch Rick and Morty. I'm glad I at least like it. So I know I at least have episode 1, and I'll set that to record now for the 3rd season, but it's just crazy. I wanted to just do this because it was just a crazy thing with how it went off this year, where it was like, some people were super pissed, especially the Samurai Jack. I know some people were mad about Dragon Ball Super, But Dragon Ball Super, you can watch subbed if you want to, and I'm sure that's why people are watching it dubbed, because they do their weekly thing. But holy crap, for Samurai Jack, there's no two ways around that. That's not a show that's already been out, for months, and you can just watch a different version. We can only watch that on Toonami, and they didn't. Well, I'd have to check, but I'm pretty sure they didn't put up the new episode. And it's just, they did the promo and everything, which is really crazy, because they did the promo, which maybe it's attached to the episode or something, because last week it was like, this is the next episode, and I was watching something, I think it was Tokyo Ghoul, and I was like, why is the promo for the episode that just came on airing for next week's episode? I was like, oh, this is backwards, and I was thinking, I was like, oh, maybe I'll have my times mixed up, that's what I was thinking, but it was because of the April Fool's thing, they had to run the promo twice to be like, this is finally going to happen next week. And I just thought, like, that's weird. Maybe they just played the wrong bit, because everything was going weird. I thought, I was like, oh, maybe something's going wrong. Somebody's screwing up on the board. That's what I was thinking. Like, somebody's really effing up this year. And that's honestly what I was thinking for like the whole week. And I was like, man, who the F was putting on these wrong episodes? It was just my random recordings, like not actually watching anything, just my bits and pieces of episodes. I'm like, what is going on? Like, somebody's having all the wrong shows air and stuff like that. Like, somebody's getting fired today. And then it's like, oh, April Fools. And they basically did the April Fools weekend, because they did some stuff on Sunday as well, I believe. So it's just like the whole weekend, it was just a bunch of random stuff happening. And I think one of the Rick and Morty things where it recorded an episode under a different name, that's why I feel like they still went into the weekend, at least for Adult Swim, maybe not Cartoon Network, but there was some stuff where I'm like, this is definitely on Sunday, and they still had random, they had different episodes recorded under different titles. I'm like, okay, they went like the whole weekend with this. So wanted to do this random video just to talk about that. We'd love to know how you guys felt about the whole April Fool's thing this year. I think there's never been this much impact on it, and I really do feel that it's a big deal, because not only Dragon Ball Super, which is Dragon Ball, like Dragon Ball Z finally came back, especially with this being, the dub version of it, for people that don't watch subs. Dragon Ball and Samurai Jack came back, and both of those were gone, and I think that's what the biggest impact was for everything that happened over April Fools. I feel like that was the biggest reason people were mad. There's already a buttload of memes of Samurai Jack and some Dragon Ball Super stuff, so people are definitely pissed about the Samurai Jack thing, without a doubt. I think that's the biggest detriment for what they had. It was just like, they always do April Fools, but you don't April Fools with Samurai Jack. That does not fly with people. So we'd love to know what you guys thought about this year's the whole slate of Cartoon Network stuff, because they had some funny stuff for sure. Like the Googly Eyes thing, like I said, I just thought that was Teen Titans Go, but I just watched a promo on YouTube where it was like an actual commercial during a commercial break, and everyone had googly eyes. That junk looked funny to me. It just made me laugh. Like, they had Ben 10 especially, because all the different alien creatures, and they have 4 eyes and stuff, and you had like googly eyes and then smaller googly eyes. I was like, that was actually pretty awesome how they did that. And that takes a lot of work to go through. And I mean, technically I'm sure they just did tracking on all the eyes and just put googly eyes there, but still, to have to do that for like every episode you're going to air, that's like an entire day's worth of episodes. Someone had to edit that all day long for every Cartoon Network promo. Like, alright, track this person's left eye, track this person's right eye, googly eye here, googly eye there, googly eye for all the alien creatures, background characters. For some, I think it was all main characters, because in the promo for Cloudy with a Chance of Meatball, some of the characters didn't have them. People with glasses didn't have googly eyes. And then there was one character, maybe his glasses were just off, so they didn't bother to add the googly eyes. But I was like, that does take a bit of time. Even if it's just track here and track here, that's a buttload of work to go through just go through an episode. And for, I guess, a 24-hour block, I don't know when it officially started, if it did start at midnight. That's literally a 24-hour block, and plus some of the extra stuff they did over the weekend. I'm sure it was more than one person, but just like, man, they actually put a lot of work in for that, and it was pretty funny, especially that promo with the googly eye. So I wish I kind of watched Cartoon Network more often now, but sadly, no, I would have enjoyed that though. But like I said, we'd love to know how you guys felt about this year's April Fool's prank, basically spanning the entire weekend. Some good stuff. Rick and Morty Season 3 is great. I haven't watched it because, like I said, I know it's as crazy as it is a show that actually has a legitimate story, so I still can't even watch the premiere, even though I have like 4 different effing recordings of it now. But that's good news. And then everything else, stuff getting cut off, Samurai Jack, Dragon Ball Super. Even when shows were coming back, like I said, having that stupid 2-minute, the 5-minute thing where everything was thrown off, I still managed to miss the one show that I did actually get to record. I didn't get to see the ending of the episode, so I gotta go watch that. It was an anime, so like I said, subbed, I can easily find the end. My girlfriend won't be too happy about that, having to read like the last 2 minutes, because for me it doesn't matter, I watch anime, whatever. For her, she doesn't really watch anime. I was surprised she even liked Tokyo Ghoul. She liked it, so I was like, oh, cool. I have to put that into that episode now for her to watch it. But like I said, I'd love to know what you guys thought about this. Hate it, love it, kind of in the middle. What do you wish they did instead of this? Just would love to know your feelings on this whole April Fool's Day thing and what they did this year. So please put your comments down in the comment section below. And of course, thanks for watching.